Hi there, Kendra Tolbert here. I'm a registered dietitian and yoga teacher specializing in PCOS and fertility. Today's video is the final video in a 4-part series all about carbohydrates and PCOS. If you missed any of the other videos, you can check them out in the description box below. In this video, you and I are going to be taking a look at how to enjoy carbohydrate-rich foods in a way that will not spike your blood sugar. It's all about how to pair your carbohydrate-rich foods with things like fiber, fat, and protein-rich foods in order to give your body the best chance at slowly breaking down those carbohydrates, slowly absorbing and making use of those carbohydrates so that your blood sugar doesn't spike, but you still get exactly what your body needs and enjoys. So much of what we'll be talking about really comes from this idea of the plate method. You might have seen it before. It's not super sexy, but it's super effective. And it's essentially where you think in these terms. It doesn't have to be a plate, but a plate gives you the best visual, I think. In the plate method, about half of your plate is fiber-rich foods that are low in carbohydrates, so vegetables essentially, or non-starchy vegetables. About a quarter of your plate is carbohydrate-rich foods, so still getting to enjoy those. Remember, we don't need to restrict, we might just need to play with the ratios and see what our body does with what we give it. Now, the other quarter of your plate is protein-rich foods, and then of course you add fat, and you add herbs and spices to make it more interesting and to make sure that your body is getting a wider variety of nutrients. So we're not going to take a deep dive into the plate method. That's for another day, and I actually have an ebook that talks about it a bit more. So if you're at all interested in learning more about it, you can head to my website and you'll find it there. But we will talk about some pairings that hopefully give you an idea of what you can do when you're enjoying carbohydrate-rich foods. So the first food that we're going to take a look at is the bagel. Oh, they're so delicious, right? But I know a lot of people feel like they are completely off limits to them if they have PCOS. Once again, not true. Thank goodness you get to enjoy them still. So maybe instead of just having a bagel or a bagel with cream cheese, you have a bagel with scrambled egg and avocado and tomato and spinach leaves. So you've added protein, you've added fat, and you've added fiber to balance out those delicious carbohydrate-rich bagels. Next up, we have instant oats. Now, oats are super high in fiber. So, they tend not to spike your blood sugar quite as much as something that would be lower in fiber. But instant oats and sometimes regular oats do cause some people's blood sugar to spike. So an option here might be, instead of making it with water, maybe you make it with a full-fat milk or plant-based milk if you don't do dairy. You can add nuts and seeds, maybe nut butter, and some fruit. And that will help to balance out those carbohydrates that for some people will spike their blood sugar. For this one, fruit, especially the banana. I don't know why the banana has been attacked so much. It's delicious, it's portable, it's affordable, and it's found in a lot of places. So it's a great option, especially for when you're on the go. It's not bad. Yes, it is higher in carbohydrates, but again, we went over this. Take a look at the previous video. We took a deep dive. Instead of just having a banana alone, which might spike your blood sugar quite a bit, you can pair it with maybe nut butter, or you can have it with nuts, or you can even chop it up and maybe use it on top of, along with some nuts and along with some seeds and along maybe with some cinnamon or ginger. You can use it to make like a parfait. And so you would use a full-fat Greek yogurt, because that's going to have the most fat and protein to balance out the carbohydrates in that delicious and wonderfully nutritious banana. Next up, we have one of my favorites, pasta. It's so quick and easy to make. It tastes delicious. It's incredibly satisfying, and you can usually find it no matter where you're out to eat. Another reason why it's so important not to have foods that are off limits. How are you going to enjoy meals with friends if everything's off limits? Instead, learn how to pair them, which is what we're doing. So let's dive into it. So you can pair pasta with something like shrimp, or chicken, whatever, some sort of protein-rich food. You can add some vegetables, maybe peppers, maybe spinach, maybe both. Don't limit yourself. Enjoy whatever you'd like to have. And you can also add chickpeas and some olive oil. So you have that combination of fiber, fat, and protein to balance out the carbohydrates in our pasta. There's reason to rejoice over this one. It's white rice. Oh yes, you can still enjoy white rice white rice, white rice, even if you have PCOS. Now, can you choose brown rice or wild rice if you want to? Absolutely. You know, that works too. That's going to be beneficial. But if you want to enjoy white rice, you can still do so. It's okay. So here you can actually apply the plate method pretty much as it is, right? So maybe you'd have a quarter of your plate would be filled with the rice, and then about a quarter of your plate would be filled with like rotisserie chicken or something, just, I don't know, something quick. And then maybe the other half of your plate is a salad, or one of my favorites with chicken and rice, cabbage. Oh, especially cabbage with onions. So delicious. Now this one might be a little harder to accept because in the world of PCOS nutrition, it's often presented as if you can't have any sugar, you can't have any desserts unless they're made with avocado and dates and nuts, and that's just not true. You can still enjoy that slice of cake or that scoop of ice cream. Again, no foods are off limits. You just have to figure out how they feel to your body, and you have to do some trial and error and experimentation with pairing them with other foods. So let's say you were out with a group of friends celebrating someone's birthday, and cake appears, because cake always appears. It's delicious, and it's just a part of celebration. What do? Well, if you've had a meal, you enjoy your slice of cake. If you haven't had a meal, maybe you try to have something else to eat with it. I always think it's a good idea to pair your desserts with a meal that is pretty well balanced. That way, the sugar that's within the dessert is not going to spike your blood sugar quite as much. So I hope these quick tips give you some ideas. And I also want to leave you with this idea. You don't have to do it perfectly. It's okay if sometimes you don't pair your carbohydrate-rich foods with fiber, fat, and protein. The occasional snack or meal that's not perfectly balanced will not ruin your health. Your body is resilient, your body is wise, and your body is good. It will not fall apart because you had a cookie without having a meal with it. You'll be okay. Well, I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that it expanded your ideas about what you can and cannot eat, and you can see there's really nothing that's off limits to you unless you're like allergic to it or it's rotten, you know, in that case, like don't eat it. Other than that, just find ways to pair it so that your body has the best chance to make good use of it. All right, friend, I will see you next week with a new PCOS yoga video. I'm really excited about getting back to sharing some yoga videos with you. Until then, make sure to enjoy the ones I've created. They're still good, even though they're a little older. You can still benefit from them. Enjoy the rest of your day, and bye for now.